Welcome back to the Edgewood College Athletics 2019-20 Stories of the Year. And today we are joined by another conference championship winning team and their head coach, Bethany Brewster, the women's cross country team, back-to-back NAC champs after winning again this past fall. And Coach, first of all, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on.
I'm going to start with a question. I asked Bubba the same question about tennis. You guys came into the season as the defending NAC champions. You had a very talented team returning. So I'm curious how you handled the expectations with your team entering the 2019 season.
Well, we kind of go into every season with a clean slate. Yes, the past is the past. That was a different team, different personalities, different work ethics. And so we have to manage what our current team is. And so, I know that definitely our young people knew the success of our previous teams, and especially in the last 5 years here. And they want that too. But I really try to do my best not to compare years and seasons, and just do what we can with what we have and make the best out of what we have and keep everyone healthy so that everyone gets to the conference line healthy and ready to race.
You guys had a meet earlier in the year at Wisconsin Lutheran, which happened to host the NAC championships, and you performed very well there, winning that as well. How did that help running that course prior to the NAC championships?
That's a great question, because sometimes we do preview the course and sometimes we don't during the season. So it kind of just depends. I felt with a very young team this year that we needed to preview the course so that people had a good idea of what they were going to be encountering at the conference championship. So it really kind of depends on the season and what we feel like we need to do. Next year we may not do that, but I try to set up our team based on the individuals that are there and what I think would be best for that current team.
It wasn't that you guys just won the NAC championships. You guys dominated. 5 runners earned all NAC performance. That doesn't happen very often. Explain that day and just how proud you were of your team. I mean, to get 5 in the NAC and probably some other really good performances as well.
Yeah, that was super exciting. Probably maybe the most exciting for Maddie Hensetter, who clearly was, her first 3 years, her best finish, I think, was 29th. And so for her to be place as high as she did was just awesome as a senior. So I think having 5 is super great. I don't think it's something that we expected or potentially even wanting to do. But we had a conversation the week of conference about what teams were going to be there and what teams were going to be competitive. And, I'll tell you this now, but I had MSOE getting second. And it was a shock to, I think, a lot of other schools. MSOE is, they have triathlon. And so some of those kids show up on conference meet day. And so I said, these are the scores. And I was within 5 to 10 points of our team, MSOE, and the 2 teams behind. And so we talked very specifically about what it was going to take to win, and that the surprise team is going to show up. And so when our girls were just before the 2-mile mark, I let them know surprise is showing up. So we need to make sure we're where we need to be.
And you mentioned Maddie. She was one of 3 seniors on this roster, Taylor and Ashley being the other 2. Explain just how important that group was, their leadership. Taylor and Maddie both earning all conference, but Ashley as a leader as well. How important was that group to the success of the team this season?
Yeah, that group came in and they have just blossomed both as runners and as leaders. Ashley Risley is certainly just kind of this, this mother hen in a good way. She, wants all the freshmen to feel welcome. She wants all the freshmen to run their best. She is there for every individual on our team, whether it's running or life-related. Tay's always been a tenacious competitor. She wants to win, but she also knows that winning is not the only thing in life. So, and then Maddie, I think, just learning to believe in herself. I know that she sent a a great little message to the freshmen after her conference performances and just said, do the work. Like, I wasn't a great athlete as a freshman. Do the work, listen, do it consistently. And if you do that, you can do things that you didn't think were possible. So they have really just given their heart to this program and have really believed in what we are and what we're doing.
One of the things I asked all the seniors when I spoke with them for a senior story a couple months ago was about the family feel of Edgewood College cross country track and field. I mean, I was at that NAC meet, and you see the alumni that come back, just the support that Edgewood cross country has. Can you explain that, just the family feel of your program?
Ooh, I don't know if you can explain it. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you have to experience it. Mm-hmm. You see it when you come to meets, and you see all the parents, but then you see the alumni, and then you see the diehard Winards. I mean, that is unconditional love. That is like, we're driving from Iowa to pretty much every meet that you have, because like, these are our kids too, and this is our family. And so that's been cultivated over years, but you almost have to experience it. I mean, I can tell you all about it, but until you're in it, I don't know. It is definitely special.
It is, and you are right. You do have to see it, and seeing it that day at the conference meet, it truly is special. This is a story on the women's team, but I do feel I have to ask about the men's team on that conference championship day as well, because I know you were just as excited for the performance that they put out. Henry being the freshman of the year and them getting fourth and just having a great meet. What were they able to accomplish that day?
Yeah, I think they finished fifth, actually.
Or fifth, yeah.
But, I mean, that was their goal, and I'm not sure if you would ask me the first 2 weeks that I honestly could have told you that was possible. I'll just be very frank. But they wanted that. That was their goal. And so we made sure the standard was kept high. We also knew that, we had to deal with the current team that we had. We didn't have Lucas. So the year before, we were seventh, and that was with Lucas. So we had a lot of work to do and a lot of people that had to step up. And they did. And, those three sophomore men who, as freshmen, were, 41, 43, and 80. And this year they were, I think, 20, 21, and 40 or something like that. They stepped up, and they have to step up more. And they know that going into the summer. They're super excited. I mean, I haven't seen our men this excited in a long time. That they're very hungry. They see the woman and what they've done, and they want their own story to tell.
You mentioned going into the summer, and obviously this is a different off season. It's different for everybody. How have you been handling that? Have you been meeting with your team? Have you been having Zoom or WebEx conversations? How has the team kind of stayed together?
Yeah, I've talked individually to everybody. We've had a few team meetings. The greatest thing about running is we could still do our sport. Mm-hmm. And I think that I reiterated that over and over again to our student athletes. Yes, you can't run with your best friends, or you can't run with your teammates, or you have to go on an individual run, but you still get to do what you love. Yeah, you don't get to compete right now, but there's still other races to compete. I mean, we even had the conversation at how special it is that if you're a distance runner, you get 3 conference championships every year. I mean, that's remarkable. If you're a track runner, you get 2. I mean, how many other sports would just like crave that? And so not taking things for granted, putting in the work, and just being consistent. There's no miracle about how you get better as a runner. It's consistent training over time, and learning to believe in yourself.
Oh, awesome. And that all that advice that worked for this past year. You have a talented team coming back. We don't know what next year's going to look like, but certainly should be another really good year for Edgewood College cross country. This was another episode of the 2019-20 Stories of the Year, another conference championship winning team. Coach, thank you for joining me.
Thanks so much, Brian.